get into the front pages of the newspapers now. And starting off with the business day, I've got that one for you. So the big story here, informal sector, Pick and Pay, flags spazas as a market force. CEO acknowledges there is pressure on the traditional supermarket model. And I think that goes without saying. It really is. It's a big development. And they're just saying the informal retail sector is a competitive force in the grocery retail market, the latest high-profile corporate player to validate the sector as a parallel economy demanding strategic attention from both companies and government. Great, yeah, it's huge.
There are some interesting developments there, you know, if I may, and also I had one of the retailers down the road from me closed down. But then I thought about it and I could understand why they closed down. Absolutely. Because of the competition.
There's so much competition, and I won't even tell you about the online side of things as well.
The online side.
Huge. Anyway, so that's a story you can go and have a look into. AMSA gets a boost from new tariffs, and this is the move by the International Trade Administration Commission of SA to impose a provisional safeguard duty on imposed steel coil. It's a win for the embattled ArcelorMittal. So that's another story they focus on there. And then here's an interesting one. Obese kids developing chronic conditions. A health focus, obese children developing these chronic conditions only seen in middle-aged adults. It's terrible. This is a big problem. High blood pressure, almost a third had abnormal cholesterol levels, and 5% had pre-diabetes or type 2 diabetes. So we need to look after our children. Let me leave that there. It's an interesting front page this morning.
Certainly is. Moving on to the Star. Now, Trump wants U.S. firms exempted from BEE laws. Freedom Front Plus leader has yet to brief Ramaphosa on recent trip to the White House. The Freedom Front Plus leader, Corney Mulder, says that he has yet to brief President Ramaphosa on claims that the Trump administration has demanded that U.S. entities be exempted from all black economic empowerment requirements as a precondition for normalizing bilateral relationships with South Africa. Also, lack of evidence against accused in Lekona Forse brutal murder case. A picture there of a large group of youth from various political organizations and regions yesterday marching to Premier Panyaza Lesufi's office to demand more attention be given to jobs for youth. And at the bottom, internal strife threatens MK party stability amid leadership conflicts. The party has been rocked by internal fighting, which sowed division among party members. And sources inside the party said there's a major internal fight within the party.
All right, so that's the Star. Let's move on to the Citizen now. And the Citizen leading with a story and the headline basically saying, "Not a field of dreams," is what it says. Let me just try and get into this one. It says, Kutsong's vision of lush fields, cheering crowds and local youths dreaming of stardom turns to dust as invaders move in to build shacks after a project to build a sports centre for soccer, rugby, cricket, basketball and netball was abandoned, and 3.2 million rand is missing. And still no explanation from the municipality. Very, just devastating to hear these stories all the time. The Boks are ready to attack more. Yeah, first test taking place this Saturday at Loftus, and of course it's Italy, so that should be another beautiful sporting weekend for us. July fashion, 15 million pool big winners. That's also Saturday, the Durban July, and some really lovely fashion. I got to see it yesterday. It's some of it's breathtaking, I must say. And I know the Sowetan have got that. You're going to have a look at that, Sakina. Crackdown on grant recipients, and Juju to back DA against Cyril. And then finally, solution to the country's water woes. Behind the crisis is a story of sabotage, corruption and neglect.
Moving on to Sowetan, and speaking of that Durban July fashion, models showcased the latest fashion trends during the Durban July Grand Experience media launch at the West Town Square. And this is in Chongweni in KwaZulu-Natal. South Africa's most famous horse racing event will be held at the Greyville Racecourse in Durban on Saturday. The lead story for Sowetan this morning, corruption busters in crosshairs. Now, forensic sector joins Ekurhuleni Mayor's appeal for intervention after the city's senior auditor, Mafole, became a third official to be shot since 2023. And the trend suggests the rising risk for professionals working to expose graft where public funds are at stake, according to the accountants body. P. Diddy guilty of prostitution. Also, half of South Africa's COVID-19 survivors suffered mental problems. That's a story they go to on page 6. And Sasol gives a SAFA ultimatum over Banyana payments. And that, of course, our question of the day that V has in sport.
Right.
So you can opine on that.
Those are your newspapers, and I must tell you that that green dress is breathtaking. I saw it yesterday. It was something so different, really lovely. I don't know if you're capturing it in the photograph there, but it was beautiful. Anyway, remember, sabcnews.com website. Go visit us. All that news and more is right there.
And not forgetting the app, if you still don't have it, SABC Plus, where you can get hold of so much of our SABC properties on that app.